The following podcast is a next level production.
Welcome to Wilhelm. I am your host, Ben Beck, and with the Winter Olympics having just wrapped up, I figure there is no better time than now to tackle that topic on the show. So this episode, we'll be revealing our choices for our top 5 favorite Olympic movies. That's right, it could be summer, could be winter. If it's Olympic, it qualifies. And to do that, I need my co-host for this episode. He's a returning guest and the host of the Field to Screen podcast, which just returned for its second season. Please welcome back my friend, Alex Balish.
How are you? And thank you so much for letting me intrude on your podcast again.
And it feels weird because we just did this, but we did this for Field to Screen.
Absolutely. And I'm really grateful that you had the time to talk about a movie that you enjoy. And that's what I love.
And we know that movie is going to come up in this episode of the show.
It might. That's for darn sure.
Oh, no, I'm pretty confident it's going to come up.
Oh, I know. Yes.
It's just a matter of, is it going to appear on one list or two?
Exactly.
That is the question. Yeah. So, the Winter Olympics just wrapped up, and I know you're a big fan of Olympics as well. I'm a huge Winter Olympics fan. How much of it did you get to watch? Did you get to watch a lot of it?
I got to watch some of it. I didn't get to watch what I would have liked to have watched, but the coverage is so all over the place. The good thing was because we were in the morning, it was night there. Mm-hmm. So we got to see some of the good stuff, breakfast on the Olympics instead of breakfast at Wimbledon. It was nice. That was nice. Right before I went to work or something like that, they had skating, the curling, which was nice. But, it's all good. I just didn't get to see enough of it just because I couldn't figure out when the heck stuff was on. And they had the Peacock Network, which I didn't have the paid version, so I couldn't see all the good stuff. But the Winter Olympics, just like the summer, it's just watching people that are amazing, doing amazing things, and this is their career, and it's just awe-inspiring.
Yeah, I got to watch a bunch of it, and there's a lot more that I still need to watch. I have hours upon hours upon hours of recording on my digital DVR of stuff that will literally take me months to get through.
Absolutely. And
I will. I'm committed. I will get through it, especially I love the bobsled stuff. I love curling. I don't know why I love curling as much.
Nobody knows why. We all love curling.
It's weird because we talked about this on Field to Screen. Like I'm very into the fast-paced sports stuff. Like I love the hockey. I love the bobsled. I love the downhill, all of that stuff. But for some reason, curling is just so relaxing yet fascinating to watch.
You know why, Ben? It's because it's the one sport we may have a chance of actually doing. Don't let the listeners kid you, okay? And I actually tried curling, and it looks really easy. It's hard as hell.
Oh, sure it is. I mean, there's a reason why it's an Olympic sport.
Absolutely. But no, I just love the fact that, one of my favorite sports is, as I like to call it, the James Bond sport, which is biathlon. Because shooting on skis, those are two talents you only see in either movies like James Bond or something that is just, some Survivor type movie with zombies or something.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I'm a bigger fan of the Winter Olympics than I am the Summer Olympics, but I do enjoy the Summer Olympics as well. And I know we're 2 years away from the 100th anniversary of the Winter Olympics. Yep. So hopefully they kind of go back to the staggered schedule. I know we talked about this on Field to Screen too.
Yes.
But I hope instead of waiting another 4 for the winter, we do it in 2. So it happens on the 100th anniversary of the Olympics, and it's a big extravaganza, big celebration. And
I think they made the choice to do that to have it staggered. And I remember that year it was people were trying to go to do both Olympics. And it, first off, in a business sense, it makes sense because there's always something happening. And people love the Olympics.
Yeah.
So, if it's every 2 years you get something, that's great.
That's why I hope it goes back.
Yeah, I'm saying me too.
The
Me
Winter
too.
Olympics again in 2 years rather than 4.
I mean, everybody's an expert in curling for 2 weeks.
Well, and not only that, but I look at it in a way too, like for anybody who's competed in a number of Olympic games, and this might have been their last one, it kind of gives them maybe a little extra time to have that final glory. Like if they're on the edge of towards teetering at the end of their Olympic career, instead of saying like, oh, nope, the next one's 4 years away, there's no way I can do it, I'll be too old or whatever. Now it's only 2 years. So now you kind of get a little bit of a last chance.
Absolutely. And we talked about a couple of the athletes, some of them that we talked about, it's their third Olympics and they might try to squeeze another one in.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing.
I hope they do. I hope in 2024 we get another Winter Olympics.
I don't doubt that the Olympic Committee, because they're so about the sport instead of all the political stuff. Ha ha ha. It happens. And I think there's a push for it.
I think the only trouble with it will be though is that I think the only deciding factor is the location, because that's usually decided a number of years in advance.
True. Because
some of these locations have to build new arenas and things like that. So it's a matter of whether or not that'll be able to happen logistically.
Well, the one thing about the Olympics that they've proved is only so many cities really can host them now. It's gotten so big. And I just know with the World Cup, when they had to switch the World Cup and the U.S. stepped in and they had the stadiums, there's only a couple of countries like China, Japan, the U.S., Norway, even though they're small, but they've got every Winter Olympic sport there, and Finland, Russia. I know the time that this is being recorded, there's a little tension there, but there are. Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep my fingers crossed, but there are backup plans, so to speak.
Hey, in my opinion, I know the facilities are still there. Send it back to Calgary because they still use the facilities for training. So
absolutely,
same
thing with Lake Placid.
Yeah. I mean, unlike some of these other cities that host the Olympics and they build all these big, huge, massively expensive arenas and then they go abandoned after the Olympics move out of the city.
I was watching an article. I was watching an article. I was watching a show. Yeah, I know. I was watching an article. It was great. I was watching a show on, I think it was HBO, and they had, it was about Yugoslavia. And they went back and, where the skating was is now a parking lot.
Yeah.
And they were saying how expensive the Olympics are, to your point, that they've considered, not that they've done it, is having portable sites where they can build them, break them down, and move them to smaller locations if they have to. I mean, the Winter Olympics is a lot easier to host than the summer because, one, there's less events, and the events that they do have, they use for one mountain is used for multiple events, like the half pipe, the moguls, whatever. I mean, you have to build a cross country running course as well as a wet right water rapid course, and it's just so specialized. The Summer Olympics are a little bit harder than the winter, but it was just really fascinating how all these wonderful moments have happened, and these buildings are just destroyed.
They go forgotten. I mean, and the sad part is, not to get political or anything like that, and I know we're getting off topic of the movies, but I mean, it's the people that live in those cities that end up paying for those arenas, and then they just go abandoned, and it sucks. I mean, luckily, when the United States hosted the Summer Olympics in Atlanta, they used facilities that already existed, and they still continue to use any facilities that they built. Same goes with Calgary. Same goes with Lake Placid. I mean, and if we do have another Winter Olympics in 2 years, I think it would make sense to either take it to Calgary because Calgary is still relatively known as an Olympic city. And not only that, or just keep it in Tokyo again for a second time because the facilities are all still there and new.
Exactly. No, it makes sense. I mean,
so you repeat a location for the first time in history, whatever.
You know what people are going to say? Oh, well, nobody cares.
Well, the countries that don't get to host the Olympics.
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like in the whole grand scheme of things, they're going to remember the Olympics were there. They're going to remember whatever they would remember, and away we go.
But put in your bid for 2028.
That's it.
And shut up about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in case you missed it here on Wilhelm, there was a bonus episode released a couple days ago. If you're listening to this when it's already posted, and that is the first of many episodes of the Wilhelm Spotlight series, and that was with comedian Jim Florentine. Not a long conversation; it's about a half hour, which is about what the Spotlight series will run, anywhere from a half hour to an hour. But I was so happy that Jim was the first guest to have on the Spotlight series. He was great. He's a local comedian to me, but he's relatively known in the stand-up comedy world. Mm-hmm. He's been around for a long time. He was the voice of Special Ed on Crank Yankers, which people still mimic to this day. As well as the host of That Metal Show on VH1. He's got a show on satellite. He's got his own podcast. He's still up and coming. He's got some new stuff coming in the future, which he's already said he will return to Wilhelm once that new stuff releases in the next couple months. So he'll be back again. But yeah, I'm excited. If you guys haven't heard it, check the feed. It is available now. And there is another one coming in a couple days, which we will, I'll talk about more towards the end of the episode. We'll reveal who that is. I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah. You kind of gave me a little teaser, so I'm a little excited myself to find out who it is.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that towards the end of the episode after we get into the movie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into things. Let's talk about our top 5 favorite Olympic movies. Just a reminder of the format of the show. If you were new to it or you forget, neither Alex nor myself, neither of us have revealed any of our top 5 to each other. So he doesn't know about mine. I don't know about his. This is as to not influence our choices for the top 5. And also there's always a chance of spoilers when talking about the movies. So you have been warned. That said, let's get into it. Top 5 favorite Olympic movies, starting with number 5. Alex, what do you got?
Well, the first movie that I thought of when you think of the Olympics, it's an Olympic movie, but it's not at the Olympics. And my first movie is the original Ice Castles, with Robbie Benson and Lynn Holly Johnson. It was a 1978 movie. It's probably one of the first movies I ever saw. And if you need a tearjerker, that's your movie. The whole premise of the movie is Lynn Holly Johnson's character, Alexis Winston, is an up-and-coming skater. And she gets into an accident where she goes blind, and her skating career is completely over. She's in the bottom of the dumps. And then Robbie Benson's character, Nick, brings her back to life. They end up fooling everyone by having her skate. And at the end, which is the tearjerker, is she does this awesome program, and then she ends up falling on her face. And I still remember Robbie saying it, "We forgot about the roses." And even just saying that just gets me all choked up, because it's like one of those, and I say it, but it's really not. It's like one of those after school special kind of movies when we were kids. And it's a wholesome movie, and there's a lot of, conflict and redemption, and I just love it.
Is it based on a true story, or is it a fictional
I
story?
think it's fictional.
Okay.
But I know they did make a remake of it recently, but it's the original to me is amazing. I mean, anytime, you can say what you want, but Robbie Benson is and was a great actor. He's a great voiceover actor now. And it's so funny, we were talking about this before. There's so many of the people that we grew up with, now are doing voice acting to keep their career going. And it's so nice because it's kind of like a warm blanket.
But Robbie Benson has been doing voiceover for well over 30 years.
No, I know. I'm thinking of I'm even thinking of Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah.
It's just like you think of it as one thing, and it's like, how's this guy paying the bills? Well, then you realize he's the Joker. He's this. He's that. He's that. And so it's just kind of neat that these folks, our childhood heroes, so to speak, have always been through our lives. We just didn't realize it in some cases.
Yeah, because Robbie Benson, you talk about the first voice he ever did was Beast.
Right.
And, from Beauty and the Beast. And he did a number of projects as Beast.
Absolutely.
And then I think he was the voice of one of the dragons in the Dragonheart.
Right.
People. I believe. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, you're right. He's a voice. And Ice Castles is a movie I've never seen.
Oh my God.
I know of it very well.
Right.
I just haven't seen it.
Oh, it's just like I said, it's if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking right now. I think no, that's not true. When I was looking at the cast list, like Tom Skerritt's in it. He's the dad, and Colleen Dewhurst, who does a phenomenal job as the coach. It's just like I said, it's such a good cast, and it just makes you feel good at the end.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the cast of the remake because I wanted to see if it's worth watching as well, and it was a direct to DVD, so right there, probably not.
I know. On a friend of mine's Plex account, they put the new version and not the old version, which really kind of stunk. But
I'll have to talk to that person.
Yeah, you should talk to that person because it just really is. Oh, and the other person that's in it is Jennifer Warren. She's like the coach that kind of gets her to the next level, kind of thing.
Okay,
and it's just really kind of neat, and
I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, I just haven't. I haven't.
You either know it or you don't. But what's your first one or your fifth?
So my number 5 is one that you and I have already discussed. Probably before I believe it was before we were recording. And I have no doubt in my mind this is probably somewhere in your top 5. And if it is, you can say it is, but just you don't have to reveal what number it is yet. I was late to the game on this one. But as in I saw it for the first time 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it's from 1992.
Yep.
And that's The Cutting Edge.
Yep.
I had actor DB Sweeney on the podcast, which if you're listening to this on the new home of Wilhelm, you can scroll down through the feed and you will find that conversation with DB Sweeney. DB Sweeney was so awesome to talk to. But I knew when I posted I was having DB Sweeney on, everybody was posting about he was great in The Cutting Edge and Toe Pick and all this. I'm like, I guess I need to see this movie to talk to DB Sweeney, because how could I not bring it up? It's everybody's favorite movie with DB Sweeney. And I watched it, and it's a little dated.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all right. And, especially when I saw that Moira Kelly was also in the movie, because I'm a big Moira Kelly. I love Moira Kelly as well.
Oh my God. She's like so not hard on the eyes. I love her.
But I watched the movie and I ended up loving it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was smart. I thought there was a lot of heart to it. When you put this movie of this professional hockey player with this professional skater, it is such an unlikely combination. And there's the humor in them training, and it was just such a fun movie to watch that I had to I had to add it to my list.
What I like about that movie, and it was somewhere on my list, and I have other ones. I mean, the problem with this list, and this is what I hate about this show.
You don't have to replace it.
No, this is the problem with this show. Every time you tell me to do a goddamn list, I got like 27 things on the list, and you drive me nuts. You're still probably doing my list for cartoons because I still have 27 of them more. No, and I say that all loving aside. I mean, what I love about that movie, and which makes it so believable, I think, in an unbelievable way, is the fact how they really look like they didn't like each other, and then they fell in love or whatever they did, but they were a cohesive unit at the end. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what made it so amazing to watch. I was a DB Sweeney. I love a lot of the stuff that he was in. He was in Mississippi Belle, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, Mississippi Belle. Oh crap! What's the abduction? Is it It's not Eye in the Sky, is it? It's
Those are the only two movies I know of his.
Oh man, it's Mississippi Fire in the Sky.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fire in the Sky. I knew it was something in the sky, which was also based on like a true story because we got to talk about that during the interview as well.
Right.
But yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff.
I'm sorry, not Mississippi Belle, Memphis Belle. Oh my God. Belle. Yeah. And I just had, I
knew what you meant.
Yeah. No, I know the listeners are like, oh, it's Memphis Belle. And he was also in 8 Men Out.
Yeah.
He was, he's been in a couple of really not good movies, but great movies that stand the test of time.
Well, I mean, and he's been in some great television too.
Like, absolutely.
He was a character in a show that was very short-lived, but I absolutely loved when it came on, called Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
He had a short run on Jericho as well, which I was, excited to see him pop up on that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I never even got to bring that up during our conversation, but that's all right.
The one thing that he wasn't on, I'm looking at his thing, he wasn't on Law and Order. I mean, come on, DB. You got to friggin' be on Law and Order. Everybody was on Law and Order.
Everybody's on Law and Order.
But now it's coming back, so hopefully he has his chance.
Yeah. I was going to say, so yeah, I mean, that was my number 5.
Okay.
Moving on for yours. What's your number 4?
All right. My number 4 is a total and utter guilty pleasure. It's the best, worst movie I've ever seen. Uh-oh. And it's so bad that it's great. And that's the movie called Stick It.
I've never seen that either.
Oh my God. It's just a guilty pleasure. What the whole premise of it is, this girl, Haley Graham, she's like this rebellious girl who has some friends that bike and do all sorts of stuff. She ends up going into a construction site and gets hurt. And the judge, her friends get hurt. They go to the judge. The judge forces her to go to this place in Texas where it's a whatchamacallit, Vickerman's Gymnastics Academy, and who's the Bridges?
Jeff Bridges. I'm looking at
Jeff Bridges. Right now. I know. I couldn't think of his name. Jeff Bridges is the coach, and he's got a past or whatever, and it's just they all hate her in the beginning because she's like the best of the best, and she kind of screwed up, and then they all become a team, and it's got a great soundtrack. I love the soundtrack, and it's one of those guilty pleasures and one of the things that Jeff Bridges does, because as you well know, gymnastics is such a competitive thing. And if you look at a gymnastics team, there's only like 5 to 7 girls on a team, right? Yeah. That go to the Olympics. And like, he's trying to sell these moms on their kids being so great. And he like always slips like, oh, they're going to be gold. Oh, golden, like the Olympics, it was like something like that,
This movie sounds so familiar to me that I wonder if I have seen it and I just
Forgot.
I just forgot about it.
It's awesome. She's such a wise ass, and she does a lot of this stuff where you hear what's in her head kind of stuff. So she's like talking, and it's just like,
Is it Olympics though, or is it just gymnastic?
It's gymnastics, but they're trying to get to the Olympics.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's kind of a gray area, but if it's really not, they're not in the Olympics, but they're trying to get there. So it's kind
Olympic hopeful. So
it's Olympic hopeful. So if it doesn't fit, talk to the.
No, it's it. I think Olympic hopeful still fits.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, my top 5 are not the top movies of all. It's my top, and that's
that's what I like. I want it to be your top 5.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so that said, I could go on and on and on about it. Probably longer than the movie is, but it's just a good feel good story. It's got a nice ending, it's got a nice redemption by all the characters, and what it does show, what I do like is it shows kind of the weird side of gymnastics, meaning, when you're trying to be one of these elite athletes, it basically takes your whole life over, and a lot of these girls don't have a life outside of it. And that's what's kind of, and they kind of break that mold a little bit. So if you get a chance to watch it on HBO or whatever, you can watch it streaming. It's worth the,
I'll have to, I'm going to have to add that to a list
to the list of
like I said, that movie sounds so familiar for some reason. And I feel like I've seen it, but I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it and find out.
I can't wait to see your Facebook post after you said, "Oh my gosh, I saw this already." But anyway,
I forgot about it.
What's your number 4?
So for my number 4, I went with something a little bit more dramatic and definitely a little more serious. I went with a movie from 2014 called Foxcatcher. This movie astounded me because it's local.
Yes, it is.
The events. This is based on a true story of something that happened in the county that I live in, and that is the murder of Mark Schultz.
Yes,
by John DuPont and his training facility, which is in Newtown, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. I live in Delaware County,
right?
And the cast is phenomenal. It's Steve Carell and Channing Tatum and Mark Ruffalo and Sienna Miller, Anthony Michael Hall. It's such a intriguing but sad story at the same time. Thankfully, John DuPont has passed.
Right.
He got 30 years in prison, and he passed away in prison for the horrible shit that he did. But I mean, it's just, I don't want to reveal too much about this movie because of the fact that I want people, if they have not yet seen it, I want people to watch it.
I have to watch it, and I'm going to probably be covering it during the Summer Olympics. Mm-hmm. I know the story. I just haven't been in the right headspace to watch it.
And that's the other thing too, is you do have to be in the right headspace to watch this movie because it is dark. It is.
No, it's I mean, the I think it was 2020 or I saw something on it, and it's just awful. Yeah. It's just awful.
I mean, he was an Olympic wrestler who was training with John DuPont, and there's love interest and there's twisted elements.
Oh, he was a sick man.
Yeah, John DuPont was a very disturbing man and coach, and unfortunately cut Mark Schultz's life short by murdering him, which was in the news and such. But yeah, it's one of those movies. I don't want to say too much about it because I want to urge people to find it and watch it. It's not that old. It's still less than 10 years old. And I believe it was an Oscar contender at the time as well. It was nominated for 5 Oscars at the time. So Oscar nominated film, and it was the best performance by an actor in a leading role, Steve Carell. Mark Ruffalo was nominated as a supporting actor, best writing, best achievement in makeup, and best achievement in directing. Yeah, so it was nominated for a lot of awards. And
that's a great choice. I mean, It wasn't on my list because I didn't see it, but it's definitely should be on the list.
Yeah, and it won Movie of the Year in 2015 at the AFI.
There you go.
So yeah, it's actually it won a number of awards at other award shows, but only nominated at the Oscars. So, but that was my number 4 was Foxcatcher. That's just one, again, not saying too much about the movie because I want people to go and see it.
All right.
Taking us into our top 3. We got number 3.
Yeah. This is a movie that I would have no reason to really watch other than I was watching HBO years ago and it popped up and it just turned out, I just loved it. And that's the movie Without Limits.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I've seen it.
And it's fascinating. It's the story of, Steve Prefontaine.
Yep.
And his coach, who happened to be the co-founder of Nike.
Bill Bowerman.
Yep. And it's his story. And he was the best at what he did. And his big thing was he never wanted to be behind. And that was a big struggle between him and Bowerman, was because sometimes to beat the Russians or to beat whoever, you had to kind of save some reserve. And his big thing was, if I'm going to do this, I want to lead and I want everybody to follow me. Now, I believe, and it's been a while since I saw the movie, but, when I was thinking of movies, this just popped into my head. It's got a 78 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I just wanted to see one other thing about it. He ends up dying tragically, I believe. And what I find also fascinating was Bowerman was used to make their shoes. And he used to use a waffle maker to make the treads. And that's how he made all their shoes. And that's what had the advantage. Now, if you look at most sneakers, they all have those treads because that's the way they're made. Well, it was because of him. And one of the things that you also have to look at is where it was. It was the University of Oregon. That's where he trained. That was his place, the Ducks. And that's why, that's where it all came from. And there's a love interest. And it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I know when I was going to make this list, it's one of those folks, if you're into Summer Olympics and you're into history, it's a great movie for both.
Yeah, you're right. He did die relatively young and tragically. He was at an event, that he actually won. Right. It was a 5,000 meter race that he won, and then they attended a party afterwards, and he on his drive home he jumped the curb and
I knew it was something crazy. What's interesting is Tom Cruise was one of the producers.
Oh, of the film.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of a side note, but it's just kind of an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. It released in '98, so it's been out for well over 20 years. But
no. But I anytime I think of Olympics, that's like one of the first things that I think of.
I think that's one that's going to deserve a rewatch because it has been a while since I've seen it.
Well, that's my job, is to make your list longer.
That's what everybody's job on the podcast. Everybody does that to me, and it's fine. It's totally fine. My number 3 is I don't think it's a cheat at all. I really don't, because I said it's any Olympic related movie. I said winter or summer, but it could also be special.
Oh God.
My number 3 is a comedy from 2005 called The Ringer.
Oh, jeez.
It's it's a movie it's a comedy starring Johnny Knoxville, for anybody who's not familiar. And it was a movie I remember watching the trailer and thinking, like, how is this appropriate? Like, this is about a guy pretending to be handicapped,
Right.
to rig the Special Olympics.
I know.
Like this is wrong even for Knoxville. Like, this is wrong. And then I watched the movie on a whim, laughed my ass off at the movie, and then watched behind the scenes. And when you watch the behind the scenes, like, it makes you enjoy the movie even more to know that, one, he was not downplaying at all, in the least, the amazing talent of these athletes in the Special Olympics. And not only that, but when the script was written and the movie was produced, they made sure to approach the Special Olympics and say, this is what we are doing. And the Special Olympics was not only 100% behind the film, they lent some of their athletes to the making of the movie. A number of the athletes that you see in the movie are actual Special Olympic athletes. And it makes that movie so much more special. It is a ridiculous concept that only somebody like Johnny Knoxville could pull off.
True.
Because of the physical comedy involved. But the actors are great that are in it, including the handicapped actors that are involved in the making of the movie. Not every actor is a handicapped actor, but a majority of them are. And like, are actual special needs athletes. And the movie is just, it's hysterical. It's heartfelt. It, like, the camaraderie with Johnny Knoxville's character and these athletes is just, I mean, and it is a bit of a spoiler. You would feel bad if Johnny Knoxville's character ended up winning a medal because he's not handicapped. He doesn't win. He doesn't medal at all in this. It's just, it is a movie I absolutely love, and there are a number of quotable lines in this movie that I still quote to this day.
And that's awesome. It's your
Have you seen it? I don't know if you've seen it before.
It's I can't bear to watch it. It's just, the whole premise just, I'm gonna put it on my list.
You really should. Again,
it's just,
like, when you watch the trailer and you think of what it is, like, this is a guy making fun of the Special Olympics. Like, this isn't right. Put in the back of your mind, like I said, the Special Olympics was behind it. There are actual special needs athletes in the movie, and they are not downplayed at all. He even says it, like, I'm paraphrasing it, but he even, like, at one point in the movie said, quotes like I can't compete with these guys. Like, they put other actual athletes to shame.
Right. Well, I'm gonna throw it down when the Summer Olympics comes. Despite my better judgment, come on, we'll cover it. And we'll cover it, and I'll be more than happy to, with a smile on my face.
I would absolutely love to cover that on Fill the Screen. It is, again, I absolutely adore this movie. It had to be in my top 5. Again, it's Special Olympics, but it's still Olympic related.
Well,
so I had to.
I don't know if I can really beat that, but I'm going to try. This
number
is
2.
I really hate this list because these movies are not really a top 5 for me. Like, they're all really good, amazing movies. Maybe not Stick It, but the rest of them are. But in terms of, one of the things that I love about the Olympics and I hate about the Olympics is the political aspect of it. Because it is very political.
Mm-hmm. It gets that way every year. And every time.
I know you're a big fan of Marvel and everything else. And how does that relate? Because there's one thing about Marvel that they love, and a lot of places love doing, and that's focusing on World War II and Nazi Germany. And one of the greatest stories ever told was the movie Unbroken.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It is, without a doubt, one of the greatest stories ever. And what's really neat about it, it's based on a book. Louis Zamperini, I know I'm going to say it wrong, Zamperini. What happened was he was a track star, and he was captured in the Japanese theater, and he was tortured. And what happened was they found out that he was an Olympic athlete, and the man that, and I forget his name offhand. I'm sorry, folks. I'm gonna get it right now. The bad guy, yes, Watanabe, tortured this man, and he wouldn't break. I mean, what they did was, in one scene, they took him out of the camp. They brought him to a wonderful dinner, and they said, if you discredit America and you say that the Japanese way is better, and I'm paraphrasing, we'll send you back. We'll do this. We'll do that. And he's like, no. I mean, if it wasn't a true story, you wouldn't believe it. What's also really amazing about it is the writer never actually met him. They did everything over the phone. Because he was so old. It was just a weird situation. She was blind, I think, and they did everything over the phone. So there's tons and tons of recordings of him. But
well, I didn't realize either. I'm looking at this. This is a Coen Brothers film.
Yeah,
the Coen Brothers were the screenwriters.
But the thing about it,
and directed by Angelina Jolie,
right? But this is the even sick part. So they get shot down, right? They're in the water for like days. One of his friends died. I think I'm not sure if one or both of his friends die in the water. The Japanese pick him up, and then they start torturing him even more. I mean, it was just like, you can't. It's a must see.
Well, that's just what they did during war times.
No, what I mean by that is it's so unbelievable that you just can't believe that somebody endured that. But the greatest part of the whole entire movie is this. After it's all done, he goes home. He comes back to Japan. He tries to forgive his torturer. He wouldn't see him because he was so ashamed of himself.
The torturer.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was just awful. It was just awful.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Oh, I know it was nominated, and I'm not sure if it won anything, but it was an amazing movie.
Yeah, it doesn't have any Oscars. Oh yeah, nominated for 3 Oscars.
Yep.
Nominated for achievement in cinematography, sound mixing, and sound editing. So none of the biggies. No,
unfortunately, but I'll tell you, it was definitely one of my. It's not an easy movie, but it was definitely up there as a great movie.
I wrote it down. It is on my list.
There you go. Okay, what's your next one?
My number 2 is a movie neither one of us is a stranger to because we just covered it on Field to Screen. My number 2 is a little movie called Cool Runnings.
Of course.
It is the movie that when you talk about the Winter Olympics, it is one of the movies that almost everybody's mind goes to. You'd say, what if you say to 10 people, what's your favorite Olympic movie? Or what's your favorite Winter Olympic movie? 8 out of 10 of those people, I guarantee you will say Cool Runnings. Because why would you not? It is a heartwarming story. It's funny. It's got John Candy, which you can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't.
I'm not going to dive too deep into this. All I'm going to say is, if you want to hear more about our conversation about Cool Runnings, we covered it on Field to Screen. Go subscribe to Field to Screen and go listen to that episode.
And I'll pay you my $20 later.
This is free of charge, my friend.
No. I do appreciate the movie now since I covered it with you again. I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's just, I mean, like a lot of these movies, you kind of forget. And it was one of those movies that, I forgot how much I enjoyed it.
It is usually my Olympic palate cleanser. When the Winter Olympics are coming, I watch Cool Runnings.
Well, that's great.
Because I have to. Like, it gears me up for the Winter Olympics. And it is probably one of the reasons why I love the bobsled events as much as I do. Because it's fast paced, it's exciting, and I know a lot of the behind the scenes and what it takes for these athletes to become this caliber of athlete to do this event.
Right. Oh no, it's amazing, and you know, to your point, we do talk about this a little bit on our episode, and what I love about it is when you're talking about this, you have a smile from ear to ear, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. And that's what movies are supposed to do. You know, they laugh, they cry. They're better than Cats on Broadway than in that awful movie.
They're not better than Cats on Broadway. They're better than the movie version.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. The movie. I just the thought of what's his name in a tights or
Idris Elba or any of them.
Just take your James Corden. Just that's a palate cleanser I don't need.
James Corden in tights. Yeah, we should just end the podcast after that because
I know.
I don't know if I want to talk about anything else. I've tarnished my mind.
You know, I guess it's my number one, huh?
Yeah. What's your number one?
And you know something, like I said, folks, I have so many honorable mentions because there's just so many great movies.
Don't have a lot this time.
Oh, I have tons.
Okay, good.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's just too many good movies. But you know what? I just covered it on my podcast. If you love America and you love getting pumped up, there is no
I already know where you're going.
Movie better than Miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's got everything. And the best part is it's a true story. And I think they did the movie justice historically. Like, for instance, there's only like 2 or 3 women in the whole entire movie, meaning it was all about that team. What I love about it, and again, you can listen to it, I'm not going to get too much into it, but they really captured the 70s perfectly. And if you're of a certain age and you remember that, it really, all the little nuances to that. And the other thing is, and again, when you listen to the intro, it's in the intro. You know, one of the greatest lines that he says, thanks to somebody.
I know the guy that created the intro.
I know. It's like, God. But no, sorry, folks. We're not trying to be gushing too much. But no, I just think that it was such a slice of time. And the sad part is that history repeats itself. And, you know, the conflicts that they had then are conflicts that we're having now, and it's just kind of a sad thing. But it's just amazing how 20 college kids came together to beat the greatest hockey team ever. I know, big spoiler.
If you haven't, this is one of those movies. I know we put the spoiler warning out there, but if you haven't seen Miracle yet, it's past spoiler prime.
I know.
But you should see it, because I agree. It was very difficult to not include it in my top 5. I'm not going to lie.
There's movies that we're going to talk about honorable mention that, I mean, it's some of the greatest movies ever. But, you know, when I'm doing this list, I wanted to do the ones that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah. And that's what the list should be. Exactly. And it's also been a while since I've seen Miracle. So that's also another reason why it didn't make my top 5. I have a feeling had I watched it recently, it probably would have bumped it into the top 5.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Kurt Russell alone is just phenomenal in that movie.
Every interview that he had during that time, he had said, there's 3 ways that I could play the part. I could play it as Kurt Russell, as a coach that happened to be him, you know, some other way, or I just dive in and be Herb Brooks.
And that's it. Like, he is the he literally is. You forget he's Kurt Russell.
Right.
He becomes Herb Brooks for that movie.
And what I also love about the movie is they had, and I'm going to jump back for 1 second. You know the cake maker Duff?
Yes.
Okay. I saw an interview with him, and he said, I want creative people, and I turn them into bakers. Okay?
Okay.
What they did for this movie, they got hockey players and turned them into actors.
Which is great.
Because the scenes are so up close and personal that it's as real as it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just such a great movie. And, you know, Kurt Russell is Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell's just amazing.
I mean, you know really what? Is. The more I see of him, it's like there's just never enough. I mean, you know, he's been a Disney star for his whole career.
Oh, oh God, what is the movie? The boy who was a computer, or
yeah.
Something I can't remember what it is. And there will be a Kurt Russell episode of Wilhelm come at some point. Probably most likely this year, and I can't wait to do it because I am a huge Kurt Russell. I love Kurt Russell. I'm gushing over Kurt Russell now, but that's all right.
I mean, one of his best movies. I mean, not his best, but I love Sky High.
Oh God, I love Sky High.
And I wish they would have made a second one because it was just such a fun. You know, I love when he makes fun of himself. Like, and he does it so well. Like, you know.
Well, I mean, again, I don't want to turn this into the Kurt Russell.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's fine because I'm about to do it too. Like, even now, we talked about this already on an earlier episode of Wilhelm last year. He's fucking Santa now. Like, and he is an amazing Santa Claus. And he has come out and said that as of now, he's pretty much retired from acting. Which he has every right to be, because like you said, he's been acting his entire life.
Right.
But he has said, I'm pretty much retired from acting now, with the exception of playing Santa. I will play Santa as long as they want me to. Right. Which I think is fantastic.
Well, he started in 1962 on Dennis the Menace.
That doesn't surprise me.
You know what I mean? Like, he's had a little career, you know.
I feel like I haven't... I'm going to be announcing it soon what the next episode of Wilhelm is, but I feel like I want to change it now to Kurt Russell.
Sorry, I made it difficult. I made it difficult for you.
No, I'm gonna stick with what I have planned, but a Kurt Russell episode will be happening.
And I know there are people that are so much qualified than I am to talk Kurt Russell. I'm just a fanboy, but you know,
I am too, though.
No, I'm just saying I'm not an expert, but
the computer wore tennis shoes.
Oh, there you go.
That's it.
Because you know you never get enough of that.
Yeah, that was the. I think that's one of the first Disney films he did. Was the computer wore tennis shoes? That was in 1969.
Okay, I'm going through it right now. Oh yeah, there it is. Son of a gun.
I think that's the first Disney movie that he did. And you're right, he's done a bunch with Disney since then, including the Marvel films now.
Of course.
So, God, who can forget Big Trouble in Little China? Okay, we're done.
I know. Stop.
No
Just
more
stop, please. Please stop.
This is Wilhelm, though. This is like Wilhelm goes off on tangents. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. So
guess that leads me to my number one, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Which I'm sure you know what it is.
I think I do.
But the listeners don't know what it is. My number one is a movie that I have grown to absolutely love. Cool Runnings would have been my number one, but this movie has surpassed it. From 2015, the true story of Eddie the Eagle Edwards. It's Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah, baby.
This movie, man, is first off, I adore Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Anybody who knows me knows I love Hugh Jackman.
The guy never ages.
He is my favorite living actor right now. I have to say that because Robin Williams will always forever be my favorite actor of all time. Hugh Jackman is my current favorite living actor right now. But Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton are so good in this movie. It's funny, it's heartfelt, and it takes place. It's the same Olympics as Cool Runnings. Yes. It was the Calgary Olympics. And it's just, man, like, It's just so fun and heartfelt. And it's the amazing story about this guy who just was told no, he'll never make it, he'll never be any good, who absolutely refused to give up, and may not have medaled in the Olympics, but put all the people who denied he would ever be good, he showed them all they were wrong. And that is such a fantastic story. And Hugh Jackman is fantastic as Bronson Peary. Taron Egerton as Eddie the Eagle Edwards. He's almost unrecognizable because of like the thick bottled glasses, like the Coke bottle glasses and the hair. It's so out of character for him, but he fits the role perfectly. It's just, I cannot gush. I know you have a different opinion about this movie, and I don't want you to go too deep into.
I'm not gonna, because we're gonna be covering it on mine.
Yeah, it's going to be your next episode of Field the Screen.
I'm gonna. I will say this: it's a great story, and anybody that, and everybody does, wants to be an Olympian. Like when you watch the Olympics, you're like, what Olympic sport can I do? And the one thing I will say is, you know, his determination is second to none. It's unmeasured. It is literally unmeasured. Like it is, you watch this movie, and even as a viewer in some of the earlier parts of this movie, before you really start to get behind him, right?
There are parts as a viewer, you're like, wow, like you are not, like you were horrible at this. Yeah. But you, as a viewer, you watch and you start to fall. Oh,
you fall in love with them. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna deny that, but you know, it's a fun movie. It's definitely a must watch when you're talking about Winter Olympics. But what I do find interesting, like you said, is it was the same year as Cool Runnings.
Yeah, it was the Calgary Olympics.
I mean, you know, talk about you know, upstaging each other.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. The Jamaican bobsled team did not medal. Eddie the Eagle did not medal. But if you go back and you look at news stories that came out of the Calgary Olympics, like newspaper stories or television stories that came out of the Winter Olympics, these are two of the biggest, most talked about athletes or group of athletes that came out of Calgary.
Absolutely.
They were talked about more than some of the people who won gold medals.
Well, it's funny because we talk about this in the Miracle episode. You know, the same year that the U.S. hockey team won was the same year Eric Heiden did his fantastic job by getting 5 medals.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been the Eric Heiden Olympics because he was basically, you know, the Michael Phelps of skating, and he got overshadowed by 1 medal of 20 guys, you know? So it just goes to show you how, you know, being at the right place at the right time means all the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I think it was Christy Yamaguchi that was in Calgary. I forget. But you know, who knows who won any of the sports, but we all know those two teams, Eddie the Eagle and
the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's just, I adore this movie so much. And it's, again, my love for Hugh Jackman. My love for Hugh Jackman is what made me watch the movie. And I just ended up just loving the movie in general. And it's, and Hugh Jackman is a supporting character. I mean, you know, Taron Egerton is the heart of this film.
Oh, no, absolutely. And he is Eddie, you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
And he embodies him. And, you know, I didn't realize who he was because my daughter loves the movie Sing. So I didn't realize that was the same person. And, you know, it goes back to the whole voice acting thing. And, you know, that's what's so nice about doing podcasting is you start finding, and I know you have that list, but you start finding movies of actors or genres that you didn't realize that you wanted to take that rabbit hole dive to.
Yeah. So actually, funny story too. I love the Sing movies. I think they're so well done.
Oh, they're the best.
And Taron Egerton is Johnny.
Right.
He's the main focus of the first movie. It's him and his broken relationship with his father, who's a prisoner. And the song And him singing "I'm Still Standing" in that movie is actually what led to him getting the role as Elton John
Right.
in Rocket Man, which was just I love that path. But he's also great in the Kingsman movies, and
Right.
the Kingsman movies are phenomenal.
Oh, they're great.
They're so good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's putting all those dots together that are so amazing, and that's what makes this so much fun to do.
Yeah. So my number one, Eddie the Eagle. And again, like I said, I didn't want you to go because I know you have it coming up on Field of Street.
Yeah,
so I didn't want
no.
you to go too in depth with it. But I'm absolutely going to listen because
I know. I expect some feedback, whether it's recorded or not, because I know you're going to have some thoughts on it.
Oh yeah, of course. You could just play this as your feedback.
I figured that's what I was going to do. But no, we'll see how it goes. And, we'll see how it goes. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Thank you for taking the lead on the show.
Because that's what I do. If I didn't,
you do it every time you come.
And then when it's my podcast, I don't do it. I make you do it.
And what's funny too is ordinarily I usually take a break after the top five. I usually take an ad break, but I'm bypassing it this week because there's no feedback this week, unfortunately. I don't think I promoted it well enough on social media to get any feedback, which is fine. I don't have to have feedback every week. So since there's no feedback, we're going to bypass the break this week and skip the ad break. And we are going to jump into honorable mentions. Okay. So I only have a few. I literally have, not including Miracle, because I did mention, we did just talk about that. It is in my honorable mentions. I only have 3.
Okay.
So if you have a bunch, let's start with you. What's one of your first honorable mentions?
All right. This should have been in my top 5, and it's probably one of the best, scariest, whatever movies, and that's I, Tonya.
That's in my honorable mentions.
I mean, it's just, it's so bad because it's real, but it's so good. I mean, it really was, it should have been in my top 5. It's such a great movie. And Tonya Harding is she's a polarizing person. And when you see where she comes from and her mother,
it kind of gives you a little bit of sympathy about her.
She's all sympathy.
Because her mother, played brilliantly by Allison Janney, is she's horrible.
I mean, you're just ready for her to say no wire hangers ever. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing she didn't say, and Mommy Dearest. It's just, it's such an awful, when I say awful, the subject is so awful of the situation, but it's played so brilliantly by all the actors.
It's kind of played very tongue-in-cheek. I mean, because when you talk about news stories, and I know honorable mentions, we're only supposed to do these very quickly, but I feel like we should spend a minute at least on this one. You're right. We talk about big news stories that come out of the Olympics and how they kind of overshadow actual achievements that happen. The Nancy Kerrigan, Tonya Harding news story
was the biggest story.
It was the biggest story that came out of the Olympics. I mean,
what'd she say? Everybody knows. Why me?
Yeah. But I also want to say too, I'm also really thrilled because I did rewatch this movie recently in anticipation of this, because it is in my honorable mentions and it has been a while to see. I completely forgot Sebastian Stan was also in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to be on stage with Sebastian in a couple of weeks. So I kind of hope I get to bring this up to him. And I'm
so jealous, by the way.
If I'm able to record that, by the way, it is going to be an episode of Wilhelm. So for those of you that are listening who won't be attending the event in Atlanta in March, there are a number of actors I'm going to be on stage with. I'm hoping to record and release. So hopefully you will get to hear them. And Sebastian Stan is one of them. So I'm incredibly excited to meet him and to be on stage with him. And hopefully I get to bring Tanya up because it'd be fun.
And I bet you it's one of those things that with all that he's been doing lately, it's either going to be something he's going to love to talk about because nobody talks about it anymore. And, it might be something, he got to work with a couple of pretty good actors.
Well, the event that, because you're going to be in attendance at
absolutely
that we're talking about, which is Fandemic in Atlanta. March 18th, 19th, and 20th. Might as well promote it.
Yeah.
And fandemictour.com if you want to get tickets if you're in the Atlanta area. But yeah, I mean, that kind of event, most people are going to be talking about Marvel kind of stuff because of him playing Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier or Luke or
well, he was never Luke.
Well, isn't it
him to be Luke?
Isn't it his body?
No, it's not his body.
Oh, I thought it was his body. I'm sorry. No. I always thought
that was kind of a fan made thing that people say he looks very similar to Mark Hamill, which he does.
Okay.
And somebody generated a picture of him as Luke Skywalker, but it wasn't him. But like he's been in a bunch of Marvel and he's doing the Pam and Tommy series now. So as a panel moderator, I enjoy bringing up projects that most people probably won't ask about.
Yes.
Because they get to talk about it and they probably don't get to talk about it often.
Right.
So with you being in the audience, be prepared for me to probably bring up I, Tonya.
And I'll have a nice smile.
There you go. I'll look for it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I only have 2, so I'm going to knock out my 2 real quick and then I'll let you run off yours. One of my honorable mentions is Blades of Glory. With Will Ferrell and John Heder, where they play figure skaters in the Olympics. It's completely ridiculous, and it was a movie I kind of had to watch a number of times to let it grow on me, but I've since learned to appreciate it. And my other honorable mention is, of course, a classic. It's Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we're talking about a list, Chariots has to be on there.
Yeah,
I know a friend of ours had just covered it a couple of months ago or so. That
was Damien, right?
Yeah, Damien on Watch
in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean it's a great episode. I want it as an honorable mention just because I just have an affinity to other movies. But yeah, it was going to definitely be in my honorable mention. And those are great picks. I mean, Cutting Edge. It's one of those. I love it, but I had other ones I wanted to bring up. I knew you were going to bring it up, and it's just like, okay, of course it's on the list. But
what are some of your other ones?
Yeah, I love the movie Race. It's the Jesse Owens story.
Yeah, that's a great movie, and it's one I haven't seen. It's relatively new, so I don't want to say it's been a while since I've seen it.
Right,
but I did see it when it came out. And I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I just remember it being a very good movie. The one movie that I really had a hard time with, but it's Olympic based, is Richard Jewell.
I haven't seen it.
It's bizarre. Like it's kind of like the movie JFK in the sense of you're after it, you're like, what really happened? I mean, it's such a weird, is he a hero or is he not? And it's just a bizarre situation. But, it's definitely worth a watch if you're into the Olympics. I mean, the other ones that I you have to put on a list, the movie Personal Best or Downhill Racer. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are 2 classic movies. I mean, I've always loved International Velvet.
I don't even know if I've heard of that one.
Tatum O'Neal, 1978.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've heard of that one.
Oh my gosh, great movie. You need to put that on your list.
International Velvet, it's called?
Yeah, it's about horses.
Okay.
Jumpers. Now, there's a movie that's coming out that is on my list, but the reason why it's on my list is because PBS did a special on it. And if you can watch it, it was under American Experience. It's not a movie, but it was an American Experience episode. It's called The Boys of 36. And it's about these the rowing team in 1936, working class kids from University of Washington, and they were all loggers. And they ended up winning the gold medal in those games. And these...
In what sport?
In rowing.
Oh, okay. You might have said that and I kind of missed it.
And George Clooney is actually producing it. It's coming out, I think, next year. I'm not sure. But if you can get a chance to watch the American Experience Boys of 36. It's amazing. Again, it's one of those stories, kind of like Eddie the Eagle. They should have never been there. As many people know, rowing is not for. It's a rich person's sport. Let's just call it what it is. These guys were the exact opposite, and it's an amazing story. And
it really is. I hate saying that, but it really is a rich person's sport.
Oh, it is. No, I mean, there's certain sports you have to have money to do. I mean, and, it's not by accident that these things happen. Obviously, you've got movies like Munich, which are, considered some of the classics. And what was the other one? I saw it years ago, and I'm throwing it in here. It's with Burt Lancaster, and it's the story of Jim Thorpe. If people don't know who Jim Thorpe is, he's probably one of the greatest athletes America's ever had. And when I say American, he was American Indian, and he played every sport under the sun, and he also was an Olympian. So if you ever get a chance to watch that, it's really interesting. Now, there's a lot of other movies that I'm not going to talk about, but if you are into history and you're into sport, then this is a great way to kind of merge both of them with a lot of these movies. Because unfortunately, there's been tragedy and celebration in the Olympics with both sides. Mm-hmm. They're one of the first. There was another one for the Hitler Olympics, and I can't think of the name of it offhand, but it was basically a propaganda movie promoting the Aryan race, which is a fantastic movie because when you look at history, and I can't think of the name of the movie, I'm sorry, but it's just a fascinating kind of look when you take that look back, like this is where we came from kind of thing. And again, it's not Olympia, is it? I think it is Olympia, now that you mention it.
It's from like 1938.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. I'm looking at it too. But again, there's just so many great movies. And when you had asked me to come on, I'm like, okay, where do we start? And, I personally, I love the historical with a little of the truth versus it all being, crazy. As much as I love Cool Runnings, it's based on a true story versus the true story.
Yeah.
And that, and we talk about that as well. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's just kind of neat when you really get some of these actual stories. You're like, holy cow, how do these people do it? And and even in the comparison of Cool Runnings to Eddie the Eagle is more of a true story. Absolutely.
Than Cool Runnings is. Cool Runnings doesn't even use the names of the original people.
Right.
Whereas Eddie the Eagle does.
Right.
There's definitely a lot of changes to Cool Runnings compared to the actual story. Whereas Eddie the Eagle is a little bit more straightforward. Definitely some changes, but a little bit more straightforward. So, but I can absolutely understand the intrigue in the movies that are more closer to the actual story of what happened. Like you mentioned Munich, which is another one that I didn't put in my honorable mentions, but I should have.
It's on all the lists, and it's fascinating stuff. I mean, I know Netflix has a whole bunch of skater series that are out there. I'm not going to go. I mean, you can go on the Netflix. There you can always find that. Anything that has to do with skating, there's usually has to do with the Olympics as well. So, and gymnastics and all that. I know Gabby Douglas has a couple of videos or whatever. But the bottom line is there's a ton of great stuff out there. And I'm just really happy to be able to talk to you about it.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk a little bit about Field to Screen. You're back with the show. Tell people about the podcast, where they can find it, what you got planned.
Well, we're doing a little Olympic month.
Olympic Fever.
The Olympic Fever has caught both podcasts. We started out with We're doing Miracle. We've got Eddie the Eagle coming up. We're doing I, Tanya. And I'm not sure we're doing another one as well. We're still trying to figure out what it is. We're doing it once a week. They're dropping, I think, on Sundays now. And then after we get through all of the Winter Olympics, it'll probably be spring, and we'll have a whole bunch of baseball and other sports coming up. We're at fieldtoscreen.com. It's field, the number 2, screen. And check us out, subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I know you accept feedback as well for the movies that you're doing. And
we try.
And I know you're on Instagram and Facebook as well, where you usually post what movies you're about to do so people can leave your feedback. And
and what we're going to try to do is something a little different, just to kind of break stuff up. I'm in the process of trying to get some of the actors or athletes that are part of different sports and do a little interview, whether it's movie based or not movie based, because I really think that all athletes have one thing in common. They have their goals and their passions and their training. And I think that that's something that people need to look at.
Yeah.
And I think people like.
And I know I'd be interested in hearing too some of the actors that you get on when you do, because I'm going to give you a hand with that as well. And I'd be interested to hear like how they get in the mindset of either portraying an actual athlete or getting into the mindset of portraying an athlete on screen. Whether it's somebody who was real or somebody who's not.
And I think, actors want to be athletes and athletes want to be actors, and it just like,
and there's a lot of crossover there too.
And there is, and that's the thing. And you look at all these movies, not everybody can skate. So you have to have some kind of ability. Yeah. I have a friend of mine, he does archery, like competition archery. His teacher is a gold medal winner, Russian winner. He lives in the States. He taught Katniss, Jennifer Lawrence, how to shoot.
That's awesome.
And we're talking Florham Park, New Jersey, and I'm very modest about it. You wouldn't even know if there's a picture up there that somebody else had to put up of the two of them. He wouldn't even put it up because he's that modest.
Yeah.
But my point being is, there is a lot of crossover in a lot of different movies that I know you love. You look at Hawkeye, you look at all these different types of things, and that's what this is all about, is trying to make people feel good in terms of the different movies and talk to people about what they love.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So on the next episode of Wilhelm, we're going to dive into another actor spotlight. We haven't done one of those since we did the John Cusack episode very early on in Wilhelm. Which was a lot of fun. So I figured it's about time we do another one. And again, thought about switching it to Kurt Russell after this conversation, but I'm not. I'm going to stick with this one. The next official episode of Wilhelm is going to drop on March 11th. That's in 2 weeks from the Friday that this episode's dropped. And it's going to be a conversation about our top 5 movies from George Clooney.
Wow.
He's got a very large repertoire. So it's going to be an interesting one because he's had some great movies and he's had some not so great movies. I can almost pretty much guarantee you Batman and Robin will not be on anybody's list.
Oh, come on. Even he doesn't even put it on his list.
I was going to say he wouldn't even put it on his own list.
I saw him. And if you ever get a chance to see this, instead of the Actor Studio, what they're doing on PBS is actor versus actor to
actors
actor.
On actors, yeah.
And they had him and Michelle Pfeiffer, and because they had done a movie together, and he was talking about different movies, and he's like, yeah, and then I did that small movie, Batman, which we don't really talk about. Because you know what? Not every role is the best role.
He has basically come out and said, I ruined Batman.
Well, I don't think he did.
At least that franchise of Batman. Look, there's a part of me that kind of enjoys that movie a little bit. It's a guilty pleasure. It's the worst of the 4 by far.
What's sad is he's debonair enough. He should have been enough to carry the movie, and it just didn't work.
No.
No, I'm just saying, like when you think of Batman, and again, I'm not here to. It's not a debate. I'm just saying when you think of George Clooney, you just say the name. Yeah, I could see that. Now, I'm not saying take the movie out of it. Yeah, I could see that. But then he did the movie and it just didn't work.
It just didn't work. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, but he's that kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
That's all.
But we'll talk. That's going to be.
That's on me. I'm not on that. So.
Yeah. I don't even know who's on that one yet. So we'll find out. But it's, like I said, March 11th will be the next official episode of Wilhelm. Actor Spotlight, top 5 favorite movies of George Clooney. And just a heads up, this episode that you are listening to right now is the last episode before the official move to the new feed for Wilhelm, where Wilhelm and the Spotlight are officially merging on the Spotlight's feed, which is the former home of the Spotlight. So if you're listening to this and you have not yet subscribed to that new feed, the easiest way to do that is go to pod.link/Wilhelm. And there you will find the new links to subscribe to the podcast on the feed where it's moving to, if you haven't already. So
I just have a silly question.
Yeah.
If I have the Wilhelm subscribe, I have to resubscribe to something different.
You have to resubscribe to the Spotlight feed because that's where the podcast is moving.
I just wanted to make sure so I know what I'm doing.
And when you go to that link, pod.link/Wilhelm, you will see the art has already changed to Wilhelm. The title has already changed to Wilhelm. Everything is already changed because March 1st is when everything moves to that feed. You won't hear anything else on the original Wilhelm feed. And the reason for that is because Spotlight had a much larger subscription base and audience. So it made more sense to move it to the larger audience that I've had, because I've cultivated that audience over 8 years. Right. So now it's a bigger audience, moving it to that feed and merging it with that episode. It's
great.
With that said, the Spotlight, which is merged into Wilhelm, there is one more Wilhelm Spotlight series that will be coming. We talked about this earlier on, and it will be the final thing. Actually, I take that back. The merge is happening March 1st. This new Spotlight series you will only hear on that new feed. So you have to subscribe to that new feed to hear it. And we teased the guest earlier. I'm very excited because it is with actor Chad Coleman.
Wow.
Who, if you are unfamiliar with Chad Coleman, you knew him from The Walking Dead. He was on The Wire. He's currently on The Orville. He has been in a bunch of stuff. He's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's an amazing actor. He is he's launching a new podcast coming up in a couple weeks. So he's coming on to talk podcaster to podcaster. We'll talk a little bit about his career. We're going to promote Fandemic again because he is a guest at Fandemic next month down in Atlanta. We're going to talk about a lot. We're only going to talk for about a half hour. So it's going to be a great conversation. The next Spotlight series with actor Chad Coleman will probably be dropping on the new Wilhelm feed either Sunday or Monday is most likely when you will see that drop.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of great stuff going on. I know this has been a long time coming in terms of, I know you've been building stuff to a certain point, and I know this is not your first year of doing this. This has been like the 8th, or like you said, the 8 or 10 years. And it's just really, it's really neat that, the progression that you've done, and you've helped out a lot of people. So congratulations.
And it just made sense to take a podcast where I talk to actors and actresses and people in the entertainment industry. It just made sense to merge that with a podcast where I'm talking about things, movies and television shows from the entertainment industry. It just made sense to just bring them together and be like, hey, let's just pull it all together, bring it all to you in one place.
Absolutely.
And go
one-stop shopping. One-stop shopping.
And again, it's exciting because in addition to these spotlights and the same conversations Wilhelm is having, I'm getting back on stage again. As I mentioned, I'm going to be on stage with Sebastian Stan, Stephen Amell, James Marsters, and I think I might even be doing the Ross Marquand, Seth Gillum, and Cooper Andrews panel. I'm not sure yet.
Awesome.
and that's next month in Atlanta. In April, I'm going to be back on stage again, and I'm so excited. I'm going to be on stage with Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. I'm hoping to score Kevin and bring a conversation with him over to Wilhelm. And I think I might even be on stage with Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, and David Tennant from Doctor Who.
Ooh.
Still waiting on word for those. And then there are other shows past that I'm going to be a part of as well that haven't even been guest announced yet. So
you have to do me a favor when you talk to David Tennant. You got to bring up Broadchurch.
Oh, everybody, I love Broadchurch.
I mean, I got to tell you, I know it was an obsession with my wife and I.
I don't know if you watch Doctor Who.
I'm binging through it.
He was the 10th Doctor.
Yes.
This is for any Doctor Who fan out there. This is a rumor that is floating, that is circulating. And I really wish I hope it is true, because it'll be the first time the show ever did something like this. He was the 10th Doctor. Matt Smith was the 11th. Peter Capaldi was the 12th. Jodie Whittaker came in as the 13th. Mm-hmm. And her time is ending. She's wrapping up her time. They haven't announced the new Doctor, but there is a rumor floating around that David Tennant is returning to become the Doctor again for the 14th Doctor.
It's amazing.
It'll be the first time they've ever had a repeat Doctor. I hope it happens.
I just have a question for you, and I know this isn't a Doctor Who podcast, but what makes that show? I mean, it's been going on for
almost
a bazillion years. I just remember when I was a kid, seeing the Doctor with the crazy scarf and whatever, and all the
Tom
70s
Baker,
scarf.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not up on it like most of the listeners are, but how do they keep it so relevant and fresh, and it's still as popular now than it was then?
It's kind of dropped off a little bit since, and I know this is kind of off the topic. We're getting ready to wrap things up anyway, so because all I have to do is my plugs and then we're out. But yeah, when it came back around 2005, the show had taken a hiatus. That they had 8 Doctors previously. And that's one of the brilliant things about the show, is that anytime an actor is ready to step down as the Doctor,
they can just plug somebody else in.
It's written in that he basically just becomes somebody else. So the show can go on literally forever. Yeah. And like I said, it's been 55, 60 years at this point, with some gaps in between, but it's been around for almost 60 years at this point.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining. The storytelling is great. The characters can constantly revolve to make the show fresh and new. And
that's an audience that they're loyal and they love it, and it's just kind of interesting. I'm a Torchwood fan, so
I will say, which John Barrowman.
I know, and I'm gonna be slipping you a couple of bucks to try to see him. But yeah,
I'll be on stage with John Barrowman too.
I know you will, and I'm very upset about that, because I would love to have been on stage with him. But yeah, no,
I've been on stage with him before.
I know you have.
It's amazing, yeah.
So I mean, it's all about Fandemic, and I know that's going to be an awesome time, and I can't wait for it. But I just meant to ask you that, because I know. You're such a passionate Doctor Who fan, so
yeah. And you know what? And I might as well just plug it one more time. This event that we have coming up in March. If you're a listener and you don't already have plans to go, or you already do have plans to go, be excited about this, because this was already an event we had planned for September. We had to move to March. It just recently got announced that we just merged with another convention, and now they're bringing in all new guests to join the guests that we already had. And now I'm working hand in hand. I'm the director of programming for this show. I'm working side by side with their director of programming, and the two of us together have added so much additional stuff to what was already planned for this show. And there is quite honestly something to do every minute from open to close, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well,
you have to. This is not an event you will be able to go into and do everything, unfortunately, because there's so much to do.
Well, I know you've been talking it up for a long time, and it's the first con that the second con that I've ever been to, so I'm excited about that. And it's going to be a blast. I mean, especially with The Walking Dead ending, it's kind of like the last hurrah for that. And it's just neat.
They'll have wrapped production on the show before the event happens. They're wrapping up, I think, in the next 2 weeks.
And we're all looking forward to seeing the end, which is, it's just kind of sad. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody from our group together. And
we got a bunch of friends coming out.
It's gonna be a blast. And
I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to see everybody, but I'll make time.
I know it'll be tough, but somebody's got to work. Somebody's got to pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
fandemictour.com. Again, if you're interested in this event and you haven't already gotten tickets, if you're in the Atlanta area and you want to go, I highly recommend coming out and checking it out. It's going to be a blast. As for this show, as I mentioned, pod.link/Wilhelm is where you can find all the links to subscribe to the new feed. If you haven't already, make sure you go and do that before when you're done listening to this, because I don't want you to miss that spotlight conversation with Chad Coleman, and I don't want you to miss future episodes of Wilhelm or future spotlights. Follow on Facebook.com/The Wilhelm Podcast, or on Instagram @The Wilhelm Pod. There you will see posts for what the upcoming episodes are going to be, and there you can leave feedback, which will be read on the episode. And then if you want to email me directly, you can always do that at thewilhelmpodcast@gmail.com. You can always leave a voicemail for feedback as well. Record yourself in a voice memo and send it to me at that voicemail. Last but not least, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a review for me on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you may be listening on if they allow you to do so. And I know I've been talking about the Patreon for Wilhelm that's going to be launching soon. I'm delaying that a little bit only because I have been so busy with this convention event. I haven't had time to fully put the Patreon together. Hopefully, it's only going to be by a month, so maybe April 1st. I should have everything put together, but the Patreon will be coming relatively soon. That said, Alex, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you for having me. I can't thank you enough, because anytime we can talk sports, it's always fun, or any other topics. And I always learn something new about podcasting every time I get a chance to talk with you.
Yeah, and you're doing great yourself as a podcaster as well. So I always find it fun to watch people I know who are just getting started into to kind of watch their trajectory and watch how they grow as they get into it. Because I've been there, so I like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we're always looking for guests, so I'm always trying to find new guests. So if you're interested,
reach out to Alex.
Yeah, reach out to us.
FieldToScreen.com.
Are you going to post the link in the show notes about how to get to the new Wilhelm?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the link will be in the show notes.
Good, because that's how the only way
it'll be in there.
No, because that's how I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to write it down.
Yep. So, yeah, anybody who's listening, the link will be in the show notes as well. But Alex, thanks again for coming on. Thank you, everybody who listens and is a huge supporter of the show. I greatly appreciate it. It's exciting to see what this has become and what it's becoming. So the support means the world to me. But until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of Wilhelm. Take care.